All right, let's see if we could pick up where we left off. And and okay, so this is actually funny. I couldn't find the second network adapter earlier when you was here, and it turns out it's because I was in the basic mode. If I go into expert mode here, you see the other adapters. So right now, um, here's the Wi-Fi. I just gotta find out which adapter it is. It's probably gonna be the. Let's see, is there 24? Let's see. Okay. So it's definitely 23. They kept that one. All right, we'll try to use that one here. It almost seems like that's correct. This is obviously not how you would have this set up at a client site. This is only because this is a lab environment and I'm trying to do this in this own little autonomous setup. So, so this is, I said 121. 121. Can I ping myself? Can I ping the firewall? Okay, so now is the firewall on? Let's turn it on. I'm still drinking coffee. VirtualBox is awesome, man. You gotta learn it. You can even run applications using VirtualBox in integration mode. So it looks like the application is running on your Mac, but it's a Windows application. You missed all the fun. I just realized my screen was frozen and all the stuff I thought I was showing you, it wasn't actually displaying. So essentially, we came back after bringing that server back up, and now we are able to ping 192.168.21.11. Okay, and then we logged back into the virtual environment, and I was showing you how each one of these. So at the root level up here, you have all this pertains to the physical machine, okay, or the server that, and then this is the actual virtual machine. So you have here, and you have all these this information related to the here where you can do your ZFS file systems. I'm using LVMs right now. That's where you have this, and I'm pretty much using like 93% of the storage. Doesn't This is again just for testing. It has networking in here. This, you could go right into the shell of the actual Proxmox server, right? See that? Like when I showed you on the physical screen, you can go right in through here, through the shell. But what's really neat is that the virtual machines also have, their own settings that could be initialized here. And like the hardware, for example, you can add memory, processors, you can make all these changes. Have it set to Spice versus VNC, and you'll see the difference now. With Spice, you can actually, it's like a protocol for virtualization that lets you kind of stream certain devices. For example, besides video, but like the USB, I can mount a Spice like USB port on here. See, like these two. And then when I load my virtual machine, it will take my USB ports and kind of mount them to that virtual machine. Super cool. As if the virtual machine is local here on my system, but in actuality, it's on the server. So there's a lot of cool stuff you could do here. And then this is just all the storage, right? For here, you can hear the ISO library, and then your VM disks. So this is what kind of gets transferred over, right? So let's look at this one. I already have this. Actually, let's turn on omarchy here. So we'll power that on, and then we'll look at the console on that as it comes up. This is the virtual machine that was down. So PVE1. It's a Arch Linux operating system, and then Xubuntu and Ubuntu are obviously based off Ubuntu, the Ubuntu operating system. I think Lubuntu or Lubuntu, it uses, I believe, it uses KDE, where Xubuntu uses, this uses KDE, and the other one uses Genome or GNOME. I don't know how you pronounce that. So many years, but I don't remember. I guess people pronounce it different ways, so it doesn't matter. So, and let's use Spice, this one instead, omarchy. And we're gonna go console, and instead of it loading on the web browser like it did earlier, what's gonna do is gonna download a file. There you go. And then we're gonna use this. We're gonna open it, and it should use a program that I have here on the computer called ASpice to load that virtual machine here on my computer. And there it goes. We are running this computer locally. How about that? Spice is omarchy is an interesting software operating system, because you don't really use, you could use the mouse, but it's mostly like short combination keys, and I don't know all of them because I haven't tested it enough, but I was curious about it. But actually, you can see what I'm doing right here. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna test a failover. So you see what we have going on this. Let's go ahead and maybe add a ping. So let's go here and let's look up a terminal app.
What up, you do? What you doing?
We got a little special people over here. I apologize for my crazy family. But anyway, it took me about 20 minutes to find a terminal on omarchy because, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing with omarchy. Never used it before. I just thought it'd be a good idea to throw it on here so I could learn it. And so that's why it took me so long. But now we could do a ping and then test a live migration. So let's go ahead and test that out. So first things first, can I ping www.google.com? It's probably not going to be a great... hey, 36.7 millisecond response time. Not great, but respectable, being that it's going out through the virtual machine and out my Wi-Fi card. Anyway, there's an ugly one right there. We should probably do something local. How about let's go to ping.1, which is the firewall's internal IP address. Let's try that. Okay, doesn't like that. Ping 192.168.21.1. Okay, so here this is 21.171. All right, so now we're gonna ping that one, and then we got response. Okay, let's see if I can make this window smaller, and we'll let that ping roll for a little while. Okay, we don't need this ping anymore. Get rid of that. And then now we will switch over to the virtual host, and we're gonna go ahead, just to play it safe, I'm gonna shut down this virtual machine. And we could right from here, we could reboot it and do all this other good stuff. You could shut it down, or you could just say, stop it. That means just like pulling the plug. We don't want to do that usually, but this is a lab environment. We can do stuff like that. As soon as it goes gray, okay, yeah, we already see that. As you can see, this console is the same thing that's running on here. Same thing. We'll keep that here. And we will let it do its thing. The partitions on the drive. So now we're fully migrated. Actually, you can see it's green now here, and it did reboot one more time, it looks like, perhaps. Let's see, let's go here, let's close this. And let's go to console and see what's going on there. Yeah. Oh, maybe it didn't go down because. Okay. 11, which is host 1. Oops. You can see it's responding back. And this virtual machine is on .12 on host 2. So, and you can see it's pinging host 1 with no problem. So successfully migrated from this one. Now I can shut this virtual machine down, do any maintenance on it, install memory, boot it back up, and then migrate it back the other way. Pretty cool. I just realized that although the virtual machine had some drop packets, it actually never did shut down. I thought it restarted, but actually, I think what happened was it went into screensaver mode because there's the beginning of when I started the migration. Then my computer froze up and I had to shut down my virtual machine. That's where this ping stopped. That's the little firewall that's running on VirtualBox. Once I shut that down, because it was consuming like 120 gigs of my RAM. I don't know why. Memory leak probably. That's cool.